we had several students on board, and we were testing the equipment the whole time. And we had a lovely young English lass on board. And once we got we had a few little problems, you know, the first time, and so forth, as you can appreciate.
Sure, it's technology.
It's, oh gosh, and being new and all that type of thing. But we did manage to get a live link up with, we had this young lass talking in real time to her mum and dad in England.
From the ship here?
From the boat, on the Great Barrier Reef, whilst we're under sail.
Wow.
Okay? And then from there, Mark was switching from camera to camera. So her parents were just overwhelmed that they were actually, they said to us, we feel like we're on the boat with you.
Right.
And especially when Mark started changing the camera and switching from the mast camera to the back camera and so forth, and the boat leaning over and so forth,
Ooh, yeah.
they said it was just remarkable. And once again, it's just made us more, well, we're very keen now to even try and get into it a bit more.
Right.
You know, really promote this style of equipment. We're hoping that we can have this link going for the entire Sydney to Hobart yacht race.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, it's amazing what streaming video systems technology on the ship can do for a Mayday situation. But how do you see it in regards to fitting in with the sport, with the sporting industry of yachting? How do you see the
Well,
technology
absolutely.
working?
Look, I noticed, you know, you've got crews of up to 12, 14, 18 people on board. Now, with this system up and running, that means friends, family, anywhere in the world can log on and join and see what's going on. Okay,
Right.
We're playing around with infrared and so forth at the moment,
Yeah.
and that's interesting. The only negative side I can see, which Mark and I have discussed, which we think is...
I know what it is. You need to take the camera out of the loop.
Yes, exactly. But no, if you're constantly uploading,
Yeah.
it really will give people an idea of what it's like, because it'll see the crew in their highs and lows. as
Right.
well.
It's the ultimate of a reality show situation, I think.
Oh, God.
Nothing is scripted. It's
No.
moment by moment. It's like being a fly on
Yeah.
the wall, on the vessel, at sea during the actual event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, when you're pushing yourself and you're pushing the boat, even though we're very well prepared, and right down to the food that we carry is all set by a dietitian and so forth, any small ailments that come up, notice those signs of dehydration and so forth, and anything that we're uncomfortable with, boom, straight on to the medical guys and say, look, we have a crew member, how can we deal with this?
Right.
And we can be coached through how to deal with that.
Right.
And I think, again, you're dead right. As far as safety, the ability to have people join you live in a very high octane, exciting sport. They get to sit there and watch it from home,
Right.
whereas we're out here actually going through the waves and over the waves and under the waves.
Right.
But again, I think this technology, we've just started scratching the surface. I really
Right.
do. I think the applications are quite amazing once we get this together.
Right. And I think even though you're just scratching the surface, you're light years ahead in your genre of, you know, this market, I think.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, and I think that any companies out there that are considering sponsorship for any of your vessels or vessels like that for a race, can you imagine sponsoring something where your logo is on the screen of real-time video during an event?
I think it would
I mean,
be,
that's something that
yeah.
needs to be considered. And your
Absolutely.
contact information is magically right here on the screen right now. So if there's any interest, you have any inquiries, you can get a hold of Maller's office and talk about some of the sponsorship opportunities, because you want to be the first to jump on board with this. Maybe the only vessel out there in a race that has real-time video from the race. You know, you might have some blokes out there with cameras, and 2 months later they'll have something edited up, but you're going to be streaming live, you know, from the event. And there's talks that I might be able to do something at a home base at the same time and edit some things up and have a seasoned race commentator with me, you know, pumping some stuff out an hour or two after it happens. But still, the 24-hour streaming aspect of it is there, and I think that's got to be huge for people that want to get involved on the business end of racing and the sport.
Absolutely. You know, sponsorship is a big thing. We can't do this without sponsors, basically. We need that yachting on that side of it. When you're going into the Formula One Grand Prix circuit, it is costly. And again, no matter how well prepared you are, the sponsorship, it really helps. And you know, with this technology, again, to have your logos, as you just mentioned a moment ago, being constantly uploaded.
Oh yeah, yeah. Great. Well, in closing, is there anything else you want to say? And I also have one more question I'd like you to kind of describe for fun, because there's a lot of people watching this that might be new to the whole yachting industry, yachting for recreation, yachting as a sport. Well, how would you describe a person that gets involved with yachting as the sport? What kind of people or mindset would we find on the deck of a sport boat that's in the middle of a race?
Well, that's a very interesting question. As I say, yachting, as far as I'm concerned, is not restricted to age, race, anything.
Right.
We're just people.
Yeah.
Okay. If you enjoy the water for a start, and keeping in mind, I always see these as big windsurfers, big wind-driven vessels. Okay. So therefore, you have to be in tune with your environment. Okay. And as far as transportation goes, it's got to be the cleanest form of transportation.
Good point.
Especially when you shut that engine off and those sails are full and you're making a mile. Yeah. It's amazing. It really is. I've got so much respect for the sailors of the old days. They didn't even have an engine.
Yeah, or GPS.
Oh, and here's us modern guys. You know,
dialing and typing and video and...
You know, I think we would have lasted a day in the old days.
In the harbour.
Yeah, but again, another interesting thing I've noticed with sailing over the years is the companionship and the friends that you can meet along the way. You know, because we get people from all walks of life as well. And look, it's like any other sport, I guess. You can do it in a recreational form and have fun and socialise.
Right.
If you're a little bit more competitive, wow, you jump on the racing circuit.
Yeah.
Okay. And believe me, sailing is a very competitive sport. So there are no boundaries.
Right.
There really is no boundaries.
No specific demographics either, I've noticed.
No, and again, in a team environment, and we stress this at all time, you know, the boat needs everyone to cooperate and work as a team.
Right, and that's what I noticed on the 3-day sail.
Yeah.
We had a great group, as I'm sure all groups are, but you know, we integrated well, and Mark was calling the shots, and we all kind of became a part of the boat, a part of the mechanism, so that Mark could use nature to its fullest ability to have the ship maneuver the way he wanted and whatnot. It was just the camaraderie was great. Yeah, the teamwork, it was awesome. It really was.
Teamwork, yeah. And in closing, you know, I'd like to say also that we do have another event happening here in Australia in 2011. And it's been put together by a gentleman by the name of Bob Williams, who's based in Perth. And once again, a chap who's been involved in offshore yachting in Australia for years and years. And he's put together a program, and it's going to be called the Around Australia Race.
Wow, and is it what it sounds like?
It will be
around
completely around Australia.
Really?
Yes, and basically it's out of Sydney, turn left, all the way around, back to Sydney.
Wow.
And I think,
what's the distance on that now?
Well, it's the same as going around the equator of the Earth.
Really?
There you go. Yeah,
wow.
We get Australia's coastline and stretch it all out. She's approximately the same distance as going around the equator.
Wow.
And the areas and locations are just amazing. I've already started having a bit of a look at some of the charts.
Great.
And as far as location and an experience, it will also be second to none.
Right. And people can keep up to date with the progress of that on your website, right? There's
Exactly.
Okay.
And once again, if we can secure some sponsorship for that particular race, that will be just going live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that.
Oh,
yeah.
Please. I'd love to have you on board.
Great. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And any interest, any questions, right here. Just get with the information here on your screen, and you'll get well taken care of. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.